Greetings, you fellow weebs. I hope you're enjoying your audible delights as we are entering episode 7 of Kanpai Cast. I really hope I haven't... Okay, I didn't lag out. Okay, good. Right. So, yep, episode 7. Kanpai! Kanpai! I hope this isn't going to turn into a regular thing where we spend the next 5 minutes saying Kanpai.
Every time it has to get longer.
We'll become the seagulls from, oh god, what is that movie?
No! Yeah. Can we please not? No. We're good. I hated them so goddamn much. They were awful.
Damn much.
Right, okay, so we are here. It's episode 7. We're going to be talking about missed opportunities in A, as well as, talking about what we're looking forward to seeing in the autumn season. Some people call it fall. I don't particularly fall over whenever the season starts in anime. However, it does typically start during autumn, so we're going with that. But first of all, housekeeping. So, first thing, I want to give a big thank you to everyone that actually participated in this, whether or not you're listening or not. Last week, we did a huge push to get to 100 subscribers for very specific reason, and as a result we were now able to have youtube.com/KanpaiCast.
Kanpai!
Yes,
Kanpai!
Right. Yep.
So much easier.
Do you not want to at least mention that we're aware of the reason? Do you want to not point out at all?
Well, Naz didn't want to point it out, so I'm not going to point it out.
That's fine. That's fine.
I made an executive decision, and I'm glad you're sticking by it.
He executized that decision, and now we've got executors in our apartments. So,
such a shame. They just get everywhere.
And it's the Aurora variation.
Oh no!
Anyway,
not the Aurora versions. I need my roof.
Anyway, so the other good news, the other great news, I think, is with the 100 subscribers. Coincidentally, chapters are now working.
Oh.
Yep. So
first you get the subscribers, then you get the name, then you get the chapters.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then finally, we're looking to be on different podcast platforms, and we'd like anyone that's listening to say, try putting it out on Spotify, try putting it out on I think Google has a version of something or another. Put it on. Just give us some ideas of where you want us to put it. The only one I think we will dodge, unless they've changed their terms and conditions, is SoundCloud. The problem with SoundCloud is you have to pay through the nose to be able to host it on there.
I'm pretty sure the other ones are free, so yeah, we ain't doing that.
Yeah. Right.
Also,
okay.
I can't remember the last time I even heard of SoundCloud. Like, all the others are where podcasts are at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think SoundCloud's mostly for music these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when we stopped putting 10 o'clock on SoundCloud, like, I just, you know what, I can't be bothered to dealing with this music online malark. I'm just going to keep it on my hard drive. There you go. Right, so that's it for housekeeping. Let us move on to... What are we doing? Missed opportunities, that was it.
Hey!
No,
right, so...
Oh, okay. I thought we were putting that at the end of the episode.
No.
My mistake. My mistake.
Okay. So my missed opportunity is not the mysterious.
No. So before you explain, let's just introduce the section. So we decided we're going to be talking. The second half of the show will be about the next anime season, but we didn't want to make a whole episode about that. So we choose some of the small topics to fill it in, and this one is an anime show which we have seen, which we feel was the biggest missed opportunity. You get these sometimes, don't you, in anime, where a premise is really good, or you see a character has a lot of potential, and then for some reason the show misses it, or whatever. Like I would have put on here, if we never got Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, for an example, I would have put the original series on there of Full Metal Alchemist, because it just all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I'm loving the show, and then the change happens basically when they ran out of manga back in the day, and you can taste the difference, the quality. Just like, it's all right, and it's still kind of the same, but it's missing something now. And that would have been, if we never got Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, my example of a missed opportunity. It's like, I just don't know what they did. They just missed an opportunity somewhere. So I assume all three of us have gone away. I've picked one. How many of you guys picked?
No, we've all picked one.
We've all picked one. Okay, so we've all got a show that we've seen at some point that we just felt just could have been so much more. You know, it was so close in some way. And I suppose we'll go through them. So first of all, Xeno, I think you were about to begin. I turn it over to you. What was your biggest missed opportunity?
Okay, so my biggest missed opportunity is the 2017 ReCreators, right? Ooh. Loads of people actually really like this series.
Right.
I thought it was such a waste of space. The whole premise is that...
hang on. Just so what, are we going to... Is this premise or spoilers territory? Sorry, just
premise.
Okay, go.
Right. I don't know if I remember enough to warrant spoilers. Right, okay. So, the whole premise of the show is that effectively everyone's original creations, everyone's OCs,
stories?
everyone's stories. Sorry, my phone is going absolutely mental because apparently when I tell someone I'm unavailable for the next 2 hours, they just, I'll keep sending you
available.
Yeah, clearly. It's not the
Now is the time to communicate with Xeno.
Anyway.
He will value this greatly. Let me call him.
The whole point, don't you dare. Right. The whole point is that everyone has, they create their own world whenever they think of a new setting. So, fuck off! For the love of God.
Airplane mode that now.
I am...
Airplane mode that phone.
No, it wasn't my phone, it was my PC.
Oh, okay.
I stopped, I've turned it off on my phone, and then all of a sudden my PC starts bloody doing it. Anyway, so...
unprofessional. How long have you been doing podcasts? How many years?
Shut up. I consider the Fate series, right? I'm thinking long and hard. I have built the world of the Fate series, and as a result, that world exists in some form of imaginary dimension. It's imagined, therefore it exists in this alternate plane of existence, right?
Yeah.
One character, right? The main villain, she has the ability to go into other OCs and take characters from it and bring them to the real world.
Ooh.
Right? How interesting of a premise is that?
So you're literally talking any character in any work of fiction could be brought into the real world.
Yes. Right?
That's a pretty... Okay, you could do a lot with that premise, I feel. Yeah.
You could do so much with that premise. We had an image mere moments ago, which had, I think the majority of the cast of all the characters. Now, this guy is our main male protagonist from our realm. I think he's a high school student, and one day he's reading a manga, and he just ends up in the middle of a battlefield. Well, it's I think it's like a giant lake or something. He's just standing on the lake, and there are these two mechs fighting, these magical mechs, right? And it's like, what the hell's going on? This is the scene. Why is this coming up so often? I put loads of screenshots in there, right? So
it really wants this one with his gormless-looking face looking right at
he's just like, what's going on? He's really...
Is this him actually looking at the mechs or something?
Yes, this is him actually witnessing the fight. He's not shitting his pants. He's not where the hell did I just end up? He was in his room, and then all of a sudden he's here, right? And he ends up encountering this one character who is actually, I'm going to point out this is the villain, the one that can actually move people around different worlds and things like that, kidnap them and bring them to us. Anyway, so and she's playing a violin with a Tommy gun and a sword, right? So she's really a well-designed character and everything. Anyway,
I mean, it's pretty amazing stuff going on there. Yeah, I'm liking that already. I was like, okay, right. So it's got an interesting looking villain.
Now, the biggest problem with the show is that it has really well established characters, character designs by the author of Black Lagoon, right? Do you remember Black Lagoon?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if Nasuth, you've seen Black Lagoon.
Nope, I haven't seen this either. Really, so.
Right, okay. Well, really, really good, strong character designs. The plot does fucking nothing with them. Right?
Right.
I couldn't remember what the majority... I didn't even remember half the cast. when I was looking through the screenshots earlier. I'm like, was that actually a character in this show? Because they do nothing. They do not develop the characters, yeah?
We're bringing, I mean, obviously, we're not going to slap the spoiler on yet. We're bringing characters from these worlds into our world. Do we spend most of our time in other worlds or in our world?
Our world.
Our world, right. So we've got these characters from other fictional settings with us humans in this normal bog standard world. What would you say most of the time the show is spent on?
It's spent on the actions of the male protagonist and one of the good guy characters, who is this, effectively, she's this mage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
And what do they do? Do they go around fighting other fictional characters, or do they just... Is it a fish out of water in this world? Oh, this is a computer. Oh, this is a car. Wow, what are these metal boxes moving around? There we go.
Here we go. Here's right. So she, right above Nasuth, right? There's this white-haired mage character. That's the one. Yes, in the green, right? She is the second good guy character. The first one being the red-haired girl, right?
Yep.
The redhead girl just fades into the background. She does nothing for the majority of the series, right? You know, I don't even know what the blue-haired guy next to her does. I don't know what he is. He might be some kind of mech pilot. I don't remember. The one next to him is a magical girl. I cannot remember the Fate Stay Night-esque character, nor... I couldn't remember the guy with the sword, but it from a screenshot, I'm like, oh, he's like Shaman King. The guy above me, right? He's this he's this detective who
Sorry, hang on. I hate to break your flow, but your audio is really crackling for me. So do you mind if we pause for just a second?
Sure.
All right. That one.
Right, cool.
Buttons
so we're back.
Hard. I don't know
this guy here, he's like this ex-cop detective guy, right?
Yep.
And he his motivation is like really well defined. He lost his daughter, he quit the force and he became like a hitman or something. And instead of actually, capturing criminals, he ends up just hunting them down and killing them, right? So he was really well defined. He did nothing with him.
And then while you almost did the entire list, I don't know how long it'll take for that image to come back up. There was one girl on the far right who looked to be wearing a school uniform.
Again, so I think she got a lot more character development and things, but she was like an assassin who was a high school student that basically pretending to be a high school student but still going around killing people. She was a really interesting character because she was trying to go beyond her character design. She was trying to be something that was not in her literature. Yeah?
See, that was going to be my next questions, is these characters... So, do they... I mean, obviously, if you want to slap the spoiler stack on now for anyone, because I think you've outlined the plot fairly. So, no, let's put it on anyway, just for in case. Because let's slap a spoiler stack on.
Really... Okay, sure.
That's fine, because I'm going to ask you a question. So, yeah, let's go. So do these characters... Are they aware they're from a fictional setting?
Yes, they are told that they're from. So as soon as they kind of enter the world, they can see that their merchandise or their advertisement marketing is just blasted everywhere. So they can see pictures of themselves. Like, what? And then they discover that they are
a creation of our world.
Exactly, or creation of authors from our worlds and things.
Yeah, but no, it doesn't matter. The people in our world, they literally don't exist. But their world, we are, in theory, people in our world are the generators of their entire existence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
no, but the next question is, do as you said, so the one character does it. Do they try and break out of their preset things, knowing that they were made? No.
And weirdly enough, we saw a screenshot briefly when we had to pause and things, where the villain of the setting, she's an OC herself, right? And she has basically brought in this group of bad people to work with her, and it's just like, okay, so why did you bother bringing in the good people?
Yeah, my point was, question B, to speed it up, is to skip one, because I've got one question to come back to, is what is the villain's goal?
Oh, I think it was to get. Oh, yeah, it's something like to get revenge on the real world because the villain's author commits suicide, and because like of her rejection, like so the author was rejected by loads of people.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if it was like society. I can't remember that well enough, but I think it was like, you know, she created this character, this cool, amazing, minstrel, general, brigadier. I can't really think of the best ways to describe this literal character above. But like, yeah, so she wanted to get revenge because, you know, she was rejected. Her author was rejected, and the emotions that the author left behind is basically what gave the character life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does she gain the power to go between worlds then, and to move characters about?
I think it's basically because the character design by the author. If memory serves, the authors are the only ones that can change the characters, but only prior to their existence. So as soon as like they come into our world, they can't be changed again, kind of thing.
I can understand.
And or something like that. And again, it's so wishy-washy. And
so
yeah,
moving on, two questions then. So one, do the characters, when they come into our world, attempt to make their own worlds as a test?
No.
Oh, because that'd be an interesting premise. Can a fictional character make another fictional world?
I honestly don't think. I can't remember.
That'd be cool.
They might try.
No. And what was my last question going to be? Ooh, can't remember now. Oh, so I'll go for it. So just to sum up then, I don't know if that's got any questions. So what was your reasons to saying this was a missed opportunity? What do you feel was missed?
They had absolutely amazing characters, right? They put out this huge plethora of characters that they could have had massive interactions with, massive motivations of why, you know, they could have it so that the character wants to hunt down their original author and kill them because they wrote such a tragic story for them. Or they could have had it like, no, I want you to change my story. Or they could have done anything. They could have explored the world, the whole fish out of water thing.
Yeah.
And none of that happened.
Well, right? I mean, this screams to me it'd be great to do sort of almost like a genre versus genre, so that the different characters' interactions would be interesting. Like, what, you know, character from this genre does this, and then this character does this way and this, and it's almost, I know you hate the term, but a deconstruction of different genres in one go. You could do crazy stories with it, and it does none of it.
I have no issue with deconstructions at all, as long as they are done to the max, right? It's like, you know. Oh yeah, let's have a deconstruction of the mecha genre. Awesome. We're still going to get untrained kids to pilot them. Why?
Yeah.
So it's like, I really like this. Screams to me so much. It could have had the same energy and potential as one of the Fate movies or, you know, series or whatever, but swing and a miss.
Okay. Fair enough. Naz, you got any points you want to talk to him about?
No, I think. I mean, having not seen it, or the one you've compared it to, I don't really have much to say. It does really sound like they could have explored more, and they just didn't.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to do. See if you could come up with a way they could explore it, because I feel this premise you could do so much with.
A lot of the weaknesses to what's going on in this is because reasons, right? Why is this happening? Because reasons. Oh my god, I can't believe that, you know, that character had a transformation sequence. Because reasons. Oh wow, they actually managed to do this thing because reasons. And it's just like, fucking finish the reason.
Right.
Yeah, I think seeing more interactions with their authors and I guess more reasons might have helped it.
Yeah, motivation. It was just lacking it. But apparently it was really well received. I don't know how.
Yeah, people, you know.
Right, let's move on to Loz's.
Oh, okay. There's not too much with mine, but fair enough. So let us move on to Strain from 2006. It's Loz's pick, so of course it's a mech show. This is a bit of an old mech show, and it got just one season, and there's not really much to it. The problem with this show is It has an amazing first episode. Okay, I'm just gonna just say now, just put spoilers, because there's nothing. Seriously, there's just the first episode, and then the rest of this bloody show is a waste, right? So in the first episode, which is that they start setting up these cool characters and the setting, and you start in a school with a group of people learning to pilot mechs for their faction. There's two factions, obviously, because we've got two factions fighting each other. One side has these super cool mechs. Any of the mechs you see here are the mechs of this faction A, the main faction we follow. Faction B doesn't have super cool mechs, so they basically use swarms of tiny robot bombs, pretty much, to attack with. It's entirely like drones.
The red things we're seeing in this image.
No, that's missiles out of a. I think that's missiles out of the. One of Faction A's mechs. So Faction A, the good guys or whatever, right? But in the first episode, we're following some of our main Faction A, and they're training some new pilots to pilot their cool-ass mechs. And you start to like these characters, and by the end of the episode, I think we got like 8 characters we get introduced to. We're like, oh yeah, I like that character, and they got a bit done out between them, and it's the school. No, yeah, what's going on? They all get slaughtered by one. What? In the first episode. Yeah, in the first episode, we slaughter off like...
As a hook, that's pretty good.
Yep. The first episode, you'll be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" Apart from one character left, and I think she's literally left, kneeling on the floor, like screaming, or crying into, all the. So these are the mechs of Faction A, obviously, right? And so she's just lying there on the floor screaming. But basically, I don't know the way I'll explain it now because why the spoilers tag's on. She's as good as dead as well, right? Because the main thing of why Faction A, I can't remember their name, has these really cool mechs is that to pilot one of those cool mechs, you don't just have to be a person who gets in it, right? From before you were born, they have to extract some of your brain cells and put it in a box, a magic super box, right? So to pilot one of these super cool flying special mechs of the primary faction, you had to have been chosen as a pilot from before birth. And that magic box has to be plugged into your mech when you pilot it, because you can't pilot it without it, right? So in the first episode, this is our main character there, this girl, blonde girl here, right? So the reason why she's as good as dead at the end of the episode is so like all of her teammates at the school all get killed, and then she's there, but her box in her mech was broken as well. So she can no longer pilot one of the cool mechs either. So in the first episode, we introduced all this stuff about, there's these people piloting mechs, learning to pilot to be, the frontline fighters for their team at the school. All of them get slaughtered, and then the one remaining character, who's our main character, has her, hero's journey almost that she's about to go on, just decimated as well. So not only does all of her head's dead, she can't even do what she was. And just to point out, so these people are born knowing that they have, they had one of these boxes made from before they were born, so they could pilot this mech. You can imagine that you were told you're going to be one of the special people. Yeah.
Just to clarify, you just said they were born knowing.
Yeah. So you're well. They have to make the box. They have to extract some of your brain cells when you're in the womb to make one of these boxes. So that when you're born, and you've got one of these boxes made for you that plugs into your mech.
Okay. So so it's more a case of, oh, by the way, when you were a fetus, we actually did this thing.
Yes. We took some of your brain cells.
Now that you're an 11-year-old, you can. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, even before then, as you grow up, this was your thing. You were grown up knowing you're going to pilot one of these mechs. That's the only way we can get to pilot these super cool awesome mechs.
I was trying to establish whether or not there was some kind of like weird superhuman brain thing going on, that they had intelligence when they left the womb.
No.
Right, okay,
it's
cool.
just that to make the box sync up with you, it needs the brain cells of your develop alongside you.
Everyone's just been telling them from the moment they're born that, oh, you're going to grow up and do this thing.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to save everyone. So that's our first episode. And you're like, wow, that's quite a cool setting. We got these bad guys we have to defeat. Yeah.
There may be more that you want to raise, but I have one fundamental question, right?
Yeah.
How much of the main cast is left after the first episode?
Well, no. So the blonde girl is all that's left from what's introduced in episode 1. So in episode 1, you get introduced like a whole, you think, it's going to be like a school group and they're all going to be learning together and all that guy likes that person and we're starting to see the dynamic wiped off the face of the earth and we're just left with this one girl, right? So then the show just falls to pieces. It just goes slow. After this first episode, you're like, whoa, give me more!
Oh my god, that could be such a cool concept!
Yep.
How do they... Oh my god.
Yep. So from then on, the slow just slows down to a crawl and becomes pointless. So I'll spoil most of the show. So by the way, that person in the background there, the grey hair, that's the blonde girl's brother, and he was the one who killed all of the people in episode 1. And I can't remember if she knows that at the end of episode 1 that it was a brother that did it. I think she does. But it's like, I think it's, oh my god, my brother just killed everyone I know and ruined my entire life going forward because I can't pilot one of these super cool mechs anymore. So she then has to continue. She still wants, she's been driven her life to be like, I must defend humanity, or this faction of humanity. So she has to pilot one of these really clunky basic robots that's basically no better than an AA gun on a ship, because they can't really do much by themselves. So they just sort of pop out on ships and just like AA guns, and she can't really do anything. She falls in, I think in one bit you see as a character pulling her towards a group of people who are a new cast we get introduced to, of this crazy scientist guy, and the pink mech is the one that she gets. So they're trying to make a robot which anyone can pilot, and that because she was a past pilot with the sinking, they use her to try and pilot that mech. So she does, spoiler, obviously that's what spoilers are on, she does get into a mech, and I'm gonna ruin the whole show because, like, okay, so you got this cool premise, what's going on? It's fight scenes versus the faction B, which are mainly just drone based. They're evil, but who cares? And the brothers working for the evil B faction. What's going on? Okay, I'm going to spoil the whole show for you because it's just like, at this point, by the time you get to this point towards the end of the show, after that amazing high point in episode 1, that it never beats that again. You've got this. Oh, you got a question? Yeah.
So the mech that she starts, like, what episode? So how many episodes are there? Right,
I think 12.
There's 12, and at what point in time does she actually get to pilot her pink mech?
I think by episode 3.
Okay,
or they're testing her to be it. So like episode 2, you're like, okay, she's now these useless gun mech things, which are just that basically these AA guns on the surface of the ship. They can't do much. They're very clunky, and they're like turrets on ships. I think it can detach, and it is a clunky mech, but they're nothing compared to the mechs that have the linking boxes that they can fly through space and do all this other stuff. It's just and she's looked down on because she's part of this like lower tier of the military now. That they're just grunts. They can't do anything. You're not one of the privileged elite that fly the super mechs anymore. So she does get looked down on for it. But right then, so the show has that high point, and episode 1, you're like, oh god, more. It never. You a few episodes, you're like, okay, maybe it's going to just build now, and then it'll come back to those amazing highs. Never gets back to it, and then it just slowly explains what was in the boxes all along that let them pilot it. And it's, oh god, if I remember this right, I'm sorry if I get it wrong. It's just like, what the frick is this? So,
see, for me, instead of making it a mystery about the boxes and what's in them, it should have been about her learning to deal with her new life, and don't introduce the mech until a little later. Or
that's the thing.
Introduce it at like 4 or 5 and have her struggle to really get control of it. She needs to have something to work towards.
Yeah. So that's the thing. You kind of want to. If it was like a progression of her character, as she endures this pain of no longer being able to pilot the robot, but still want to be helping people, and she has to maybe come up with new ways and a new mech that does different things in a different way. No, she joins this research team who have this. They're trying to make this multi-purpose robot that anyone can use, and its box is put in a little doll of a girl for the pink mech. Yep. You're like,
okay.
That's good. Yeah, these are boxes. Every time you've seen them point, they're just boxes, and they know this box lets them pilot the mech. But they put this box in this little like girl, about looks like a 12-year-old girl. It's like a puppet she carries around. Yeah, and you're like, that's weird. And I think she has to put it in the mech when she pilots it, and it's like, okay, that's how she pilots her mech, with this little box in this girl, which seems to respond to her. That's weird. I thought the boxes were meant to be made unique to you. Okay, I'm trying and explain this. So the thing is just trying to explain, and the whole premise is just about what's to do with these boxes. Not her. It just becomes it. So her brother killed all of her friends because of the secret of the boxes. The secret of the boxes is humanity found a race of alien little girls. What? That are all linked through space and time mentally or something. And they realised they could connect them to humans and shove the little girls in little boxes to let them pilot mechs.
What the fuck was the author or studio or pick whoever was like, what the hell?
Yep. And then the brother was trying to stop Faction A and rescue all the little girls or something, or what was left of the little girls, or some faff about that. It's just ridiculous. It's like, but this should be a journey of the main character. Instead, it's just about the little girls that are aliens they find or something. And I'm like, it had such a great premise, a good setting. You know, the boxes obviously were an important part of it, but that they became everything. And it's just like...
do you know if this had like a manga or anything associated?
Yeah, I do believe it did. Yeah,
so you could even have her. You could even have that as a revelation, and have her initially struggling to before that's a revelation. She struggles to come to terms with the fact that her brother killed all her friends, and then after the revelation, she has to come to terms with the fact that all her friends were being used. So you could fit that in. Sounds like they didn't do that.
I no, I don't. It just becomes this sort of thing about the whole thing is about saving these little girls, and like her brother did it to. Can't remember why he killed all these things, because to save the little girls or something, these alien little girls that can connect their minds through space and time, and it's like maybe she could realize that she was a tool the whole time, and it was the she was connected to this thing, and the team she's been working for are the bad guys, and maybe she should move to Team B or whatever, and the whole Team B no, I think Team B are pretty much just evil anyway with their drones and everything. It's just like that whole subplot just fades away. It's just about, gotta save the... Yeah, there's the research team she joins. And there's our new cast of friends and things she has to open up towards and things. But it's not her journey, because she just gets back in the mech within about 2 epipisodes.
Jesus Christ.
It's just like from that first... This climaxes in episode 1, and you're just like, whoa, more! Whoa, this is going to be so amazing! And it just... if you're super hyped by that episode 1, and it just goes down afterwards. It didn't know what it wanted to do. Somebody knew how to make a good first episode, and that was it. And that's the problem with this show. They could have done so much with it, and they had you by the end of episode 1. You were there. Normally me and Xeno have a rule that I'm... Maybe Nasuth have this rule now as well. If you want to judge a show, you watch 3 episodes, because one episode. And we normally have that because it normally takes shows a bit time to get going. Mm-hmm, that's the reason why we say that. That's a rule we try and use with our shows, and that's why I think one of the things we're going to do when the new season comes out is like by episode 3 or 6, we're going to discuss then, because you get to know the show. Don't just judge it on one episode. But this has you at the end of episode 1. You're like, God, yeah, I'm sent. Come on, I'm going to watch this whole thing now, and you do, and you're like,
well, that's the problem. That's why you need to watch more than one episode, because that first episode is a great hook. And it's a huge lie.
But the thing is, you do watch one episode, then you realize, okay, well, and you get into the second episode, and you think, okay, well, yeah, we're gonna have to wind it down a bit to build ourselves back up again. That you could appreciate that, and you think, oh yeah, and then she's gonna do something with this new mech, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can see we're gonna go somewhere with it, and then it just never does. It just never does. Oh, just so. It seems like quite unique looking mechs. I think it's pretty cool looking, and just goes nowhere. Yep. So that's it. If I was to redo it, I would completely redo it. Almost push the little girl's sort of story to the side. Leave that as a mystery to try and get a second season hook, maybe more interesting. Focus on the enemy faction more. It barely does that. They've got drones. Maybe it could be on the enemy faction trying to acquire mechs themselves or something, or different type of mech or a different type of weapon. That could be interesting. I think they tried to avoid standard tropes for like a mech show, and they just went in no direction at all.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you want to watch the show, watch the first episode, and then nothing more.
It just ends there.
That's where it ends. Yep.
Right.
It's like 8th MS team. Don't watch the last episode.
The special episode.
I thought it was part of it. Anyway,
I think it was actually a special episode, not released in order.
Okay.
So Xeno does weird isekais. LOZ does mech shows. I do really, really old anime. Prepare for terrible.
Okay.
So this was Eyes of Mars. It's actually just a movie. It's not a series.
Okay.
The basic premise is there's a group of humanity living on Mars. They've ruined their. At its core, it's an environmentalist movie. So they've ruined their world. But there is this group of girls underground in a paradise. It's called the E.Y.E.S Project. I don't know why. They never explain why it's called the E.Y.E.S Project. No idea.
But I see that it says E.Y.E.S, clearly implying there should be some cool acronym to explain this to me.
In fact, they refer to it that in the anime too. The E.Y.E.S project. Yeah, we never know what it's actually supposed to stand for. We know what it was supposed to do, which I'll get to in a bit. So one of the reasons that I like this show or this movie is that it has a lot of like religious themes in it. It calls back to a lot of Eastern religions. You can kind of tell from the way the girl was dressed. They've also got a character that's essentially Jesus. So this right here, this image, that is the Madonna, where she's holding Jesus. That statue.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So lots of religious symbolism, which is really cool. It's setting up a dystopian future, which is really cool. It sounds like they're going in a great direction, and then the bad stuff starts happening.
Okay. You've got me on the premise. Okay, I like Mars. I like the, they're not doing great with the environment of Mars. That's interesting, because obviously I assume they terraformed it and then messed it up and things. I'm just even looking at this.
That's a good assumption.
Okay, I love in the grittiness. Look at that grittiness, and I love 90s and 80s anime, just so detailed. Look at that background. Look at the smudges and the oil marks. Whoa, lovely. Right, okay, you got me right now. Ruin it for me.
So, you would think that these are humans from Earth who've gone to Mars. Maybe they've ruined Earth, and so they've gone to Mars. You would be wrong. They are from the 5th planet. So, the E.Y.E.S project was to produce psychic girls, specifically girls, don't know why, who would be able to withstand the collapse of civilization on Mars and be able to somehow restart it. They don't really explain how. They just drop it on you that way. She and this boy helps her escape. His name is Dew, her name is Eve. Don't know why he's named Dew and not Adam, but, it's supposed to be, you get the symbolism. She's Eve, he's her partner. They escape, and they come to an underground group of, not freedom fighters, but just like a splinter group. A little religious splinter group who are waiting for the messenger to appear and tell them what to do now that their planet is dying. So she gets there, she manages to contact him with her incredible psychic powers. He tells them the history. They came from the 5th planet in the solar system, which they ruined, went to Mars, created a paradise there, but the people left behind blew up the 5th planet, so that's the asteroid belt. Right.
Okay, not Jupiter. Okay, yeah.
No. And now they've ruined Mars. They've turned their paradise into another ruined planet, and he's telling them, don't go to Earth. Don't go fuck up Earth. It's already starting to travel downhill here. I don't like this. I think it would have been better if they'd come from Earth, and the goal was to try and stop it before it happens to Mars. But in the end, the wicked corporate people take off anyway, end up destroying the city in the process, and everyone's souls migrate to Earth.
What?
Where they build Atlantis. It just goes fucking... And this is all explained... A lot of this is explained in exposition, which is really bad to begin with. But then it just goes completely off the rails. I think the religious symbolism would have been much cooler if they'd come from Earth and they'd forgotten their history and a lot of this stuff was starting to repeat. But no, none of this stuff has even happened yet. It's so crazy.
I like the idea that you start the show thinking, obviously, these are people from Earth who terraformed it, but the twist is they're actually from a 5th planet which was destroyed, and they're going to Mars, they're going to Earth. That's okay. I can see that's kind of cool. That that's a good way of subverting your expectations. That's a really clever twist, right?
Yeah, but I think it's bad for the story's message.
Yeah. So is the message that don't ruin Earth? Is that
yes? The message is you've ruined these other humanity's ruined 2 other planets. Don't ruin Earth.
What did they do to ruin the other planets? How did they blow up another planet? I mean,
so they'd polluted the 5th planet. They'd used up all its resources. some of them escaped to Mars, and the other ones battled over what was left. And while battling for what was left, they destroyed the planet, which apparently also knocked Mars out of orbit. And I don't know. I don't know how it would knock it out of orbit closer to the sun, but fuck up its ecosystem like it moved further from the sun.
Yeah. It need to moving it closer to the sun moves it deeper into the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah.
That would only benefit it.
Yeah.
It would be warmer. What? What?
What the fuck?
Oh,
so
yeah,
why don't we have psychics on?
Messenger.
Yeah, why don't we have psychics on Earth then?
Because they had to take over the body of Cro-Magnons, you see. It's only their souls that might.
Oh my fucking
Wait, so
God.
there were people on Earth, or did they seed the people on Earth?
No, they took over the bodies of the Cro-Magnons.
So they didn't put the Cro-Magnons there using some sort of cool...
No, they just gave them a burst of intelligence that made them, smarter than all the other ones.
And they put their souls in them?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like some sort of cool, clever method that they'd used from the fifth planet to seed Mars that they know.
No.
Because obviously, they don't have space travel, so what they do is they send probes that have all the genetic information to make the precursor people that they then inhabit. That would be cool.
Nope.
No, there's just Cro-Magnon,
just
people on Earth.
Souls. Suddenly souls.
And they just move souls, just shove souls, plug and play souls.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
And then you go.
It could have been amazing to see her and the other psychics have to struggle to stop the bad guys from leaving and destroying the city. They could have tried to fix Mars, but no, everyone just dies and their souls escape.
Right. And does it explain what happened to Atlantis then?
Nope.
It
just says offhandedly in the exposition that takes you out of the movie. And they made Atlantis. Cro-Magnons got smart, and then they made Atlantis.
But then what happened?
Nothing.
But was there like a revolution to say, hey, we've done this twice before, we refuse to let this happen again, we're going to smash all of the stuff and kill all the people and let this planet be as is because we can't afford...
That might have been interesting to explore, but they just don't tell you.
Yeah, they just say Atlantis was made.
It's just suddenly souls, yeah.
And then suddenly Earth. And that...
up until that, it's getting... It does such a good job, and then it's just like, nah, we're going to throw all that away.
I'm like... The asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter... I'm pretty sure that's outside of the Goldilocks zone.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
How the fuck was there life on there?
I don't know.
Like, no, don't get me wrong. I'm in no way, shape, or form am I expecting you to have the answers here.
I don't think
don't worry about that.
I really don't think they know.
But it's like, so as you were reading this, I don't know if you guys have ever heard. You can turn off the spoiler tag.
Okay.
But I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Happy Science.
No.
So Happy Science is effectively a cult in Japan, akin to another one that, I'm going to avoid the name. But anyway, that South Park made a very good reference to. Anyway, so moving on. Happy Science, apparently they actually paid for a load of anime movies to be made. And some of them are the most questionable garbage I have ever heard. So when you were describing this, I thought this was one of those movies.
I actually know who made this.
Toei.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
I mean, the animation is beautiful. Don't get me... you can't tell it from this quality because it was the only copy I could find. But... the animation it's fluid, it's smooth, the characters look nice, it's really good. It's just a terrible story.
So the producer, the executive producer that made this, as far as I can tell, this was the only thing they ever executively produced.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And from all the crazy crap you have described, I'm not surprised. But it's just like, how even? Like, all these questions, like, how on earth do they have psychic girls?
Well, the director's done loads.
The director could quite possibly be done, but the producer, I mean, like, the director and the producer aren't the same person. But as far as I can tell, the producer's name only comes up once, and it's only associated to this movie. I could be wrong.
Huh.
I trust in IMDb, but yeah, I'm just like, I'm absolutely dumbfounded, and especially. So Happy Smile, they will often use like Hermes and Aphrodite, and they'll use like
so the whole Eastern thing.
So when you said so as soon as you said Eve and all these religious iconography, I was just like, this has got to be them, and like no, but apparently it's not. So again, I'm just completely dumbfounded.
Yeah, not only the producer, I'm on IMDb as well. Both writers, those two writers for this, their only IMDb credit is this.
Wow.
I'm wondering if people are just like, what the fuck did you guys do?
I'm pretty sure the only place I've ever seen this was on the Sci-Fi Channel back when they showed anime at like 3 a.m. or something.
Well, from what I could tell, you can watch the whole movie on YouTube.
You can. That's where I saw got these images. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
It's like an hour and 12 minutes.
Yep.
Wow. I'm just like, you could have done so much with this premise.
I like it, yeah. I like the premise.
Are.
I even like the way they did the twist, and I think you could do a lot with that. And then they just like, yeah, we're going to drop this ball in a blender.
Yeah. They were just done with it.
But yeah, like the whole like, oh, we moved it closer. We moved Mars closer to the sun. I'm don't get me wrong, I'm not an astrophysicist, but I'm pretty sure as soon as you start a decaying orbit, like, unless you like stop it really quickly, it's kind of all downhill from there.
I don't know. Maybe they use their psychic powers to stop it. Who knows?
Well, one, yes. Yeah, they could use the psychic powers. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not an astrophysicist either. I don't know for giant. So also, I don't know even if someone's tested
one more thing.
that.
This scene, I don't care that it's spoilers at this point. I really don't. This scene, those two were standing down in the city with the dome over it. And then when the dome exploded, somehow they were suddenly in spacesuits and they were ejected out into orbit. I don't know. That has nothing to do with the story. That's just an interesting, like, what the fuck were they thinking?
It just happens.
You possess an emergency suit that it puts itself on as soon as you get shoved up into a vacuum, even though most of the time I assume, because the image of these kids is that bit where they're running, they look like they're wearing nothing but
it's actually these two characters. It's not our main characters, it's these two.
Yeah, but they don't look like they're wearing anything really clever.
Okay.
No. They just get into spacesuits all of a sudden. Yeah. Suddenly spacesuits.
Here, have this torch. Then has torch.
Don't have another torch. I pulled it from my spare torch inventory. Don't you have a torch bag? I have a torch bag full of torches. In joke for everyone else, sorry.
Goblin Slayer movie. Anyway, right, I think we're done with wow, I'm kind of shocked by all three of these. But... Okay, right.
Oh no, yes, so we've got Xenos, which was really quite interesting, with a strong premise that you could do so much with. You can make like comedy, you can make it serious, you could go all over the place.
Yeah.
Mine, which was, there's nothing wrong with the show, it's just it peaked at the start and then they didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And then there's this where they just
goes batshit insane.
They just high the entire time.
Yeah. So I think that's some three really good examples of different ways to be disappointing.
Yep. Cool. Right. Should we move on to the
the
preview?
That's the thing.
The preview.
I don't know if preview.
I know you. I'm gonna ask something which you guys are not gonna. But do you want to get the just have in the background just while we start talking about it, the anime chart or anime list or whatever, and then tell everyone that we'll put the link in the description for them, so teach people how to find these cool things and what we're going to discuss.
We did put the link in last time, but yeah,
well,
okay, fine. Now's
the pause on screen. Rightio. So we'll go into the second half of this episode where we're going to talk about what's coming up in the autumn season. Also known for some crazy people as the fall season. Now, if anyone's not aware, because I've watched anime for years and was never really aware of these things, if you want to check up on anime that's currently airing or coming out, there's many different websites to do it. I think the one, what have we got in the background there? I can't, is that AniList?
This is AniChart.
If you type in like AniChart or Anime List and then like summer and then put a year, you can come up with these cool websites. There's 2 or 3 of them, and they do a really good job of just listing all the different shows that are coming out or currently airing. Gives you a little bit of description. You can sort by tags as well if you want to go look for, if you're like me and you want to go look at what mech shows are coming up soon, you can go on there. It's really great for it. You can click on it and also get more information, and there's normally a trailer. So what we're going to do now is we've had a look ourselves through what's coming up. This is starting, I think, next few weeks, and we've had a quick flick through now. The what?
So many shows. Just look at
so many shows. Yes, yeah. We've had a quick look through ourselves. We're not going to go through the whole list because that would take forever. And we've picked out, I think, 5 each of our favorite ones that we want to talk about and show to you. And then I think we'll also mention some honourable mentions, just maybe ones where the premise got us and we're like, this sounds like a lot of fun. I might have a quick look at that. We're going to go through some of the trailers as well, and then we're just going to chat about them. Yeah, that's about it, I think. Yeah, you guys want to add anything to that? Oh, and if you don't know, you want this website, this one here, the link will be in the description, so you can check it yourself if you want to go looking for some anime yourself. Yep.
Cool.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's loud for me. Let me mute that. Excellent start for new things. So, okay. Background footage is looking badass. I love this setup, by the way. Before we even start, can I just say it's really cool that you guys spent some time oh, look at that. Cool setup. So we've got the trailers. We'll play in the background as we discuss them. Oh, it looks really cool. So the first one we have here was one of mine and one of Nasuth's. This is Sakugan. I think that's how they say it. I'll probably get it wrong. And I'm going to point out at one point there will say Nier Automata, and that one thing of saying that made Xeno go amazing. So I think this is probably one of Xeno's picks as well, simply for the fact that something mentioned Nier Automata.
It wasn't, but it is now.
Now, apparently, I actually didn't. Do I even notice this? Yes, I do. We're gonna. All of these will begin with I've watched every single thing on the anime list. So, by vote of popular opinion, this is a democracy, and everyone voted against me. I will say my one-line point for what I thought of the episode of the show before I discuss it. And for this one, I put in all caps. I like this. Father and daughter team, mechs, underground human living, mystery, and then it actually says for Xeno, Nier Automata somebody, So there we go. Now, so this show looks really interesting to me. We've got humanity living underground. We've got, and I love it. Seriously, we don't get this enough. A father and daughter team. The daughter's going to pilot this mech, or from my understanding, she pilots the mech and does a very dangerous job, which is drilling and digging. And that's what she's trying to do to survive in this underground, I assume, like standard, the last remnants of humanity living underground in this place. And, you've got a picture of like living on the surface there and things. And I don't know, it just looks amazing. My one thing I'm worried about is I hope the father doesn't die in like episode 2 or something. I'm hoping the father is a recurring character the whole time, because that would just be amazing of a father-daughter team. And then obviously we have some giant monsters for fight for some reason, which looks pretty cool. Yeah, there we go. And we've got the mech design, looks pretty cool. It can transform into some sort of robot. It doesn't seem to do drilling. It seems to do fighting. Yeah, I am so sold on this as my first pick. Yeah.
So one of the reasons I picked it is it reminds me a ton of Made in Abyss. And I don't know if it's actually made by the same people or not, but it's a similar story. It's a girl, only in her case, she's trying to find her mother. And instead of being surrounded by rock, which is what they are in this one, it's going underground. They're going deeper and deeper into what's called the Abyss. But it's a similar art style. It's a similar feel. And if it's made, I don't know if it's made by the same people or not. I didn't actually check into it. But if it is, Made in Abyss does not pull any punches, so I expect this one not to either. I don't, but that's only if it's made by the same people. If it's not, then it'll be fine. But I agree with every point you made. I agree with every point you made. It's a cool setting. It seems like a cool premise. I'm very excited to see it.
Cool. Should we move on?
And there was that bit. Sorry, there's the father kneeling down, and she's looking at the ring in her hand. And I hope that that's something to pilot the mech or something. The one thing is, my one hope is I'm so hoping that dad doesn't die early on. I really I want to see them explore the relationship between those two characters. They look really cool. The art style of them, apart from the fact that her hair sort of becomes a sort of like, if you notice any bits when she sort of there's moving, it's like a sausage. It just flops around behind her. Yeah, it's not very hair like, but I don't care because the CG what they called. Monsters. They looked quite impressive. It's an interesting choice. I love the mech, so there we go. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Oh, and the Cyberpunk City. Love me some Cyberpunk City. So I have no idea where the story is going to go, but
not a clue.
I'm really interested in it. Yep. Anyone you add, Xeno?
No, I'm. To be honest, I'm kind of.
There we are. Look at that sausage hair.
Sausage. It was more like a pillow, but yeah. God, it is just like,
it's like
it
a
doesn't
solid
actually
mass.
fray.
Yeah,
it really is. Anyway, right, should we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Cool, right. So the next one we've got is Deep Insanity, the Lost Child. Loz, your line.
Cold area, deep underground sci-fi dystopian. Aliens? ? Could be good. Yeah, that's what I've got on this one from watching this. I'm not sure if this is the same trailer I watched because this is looking really weird with blood, and I didn't mention it. Oh yeah, no. So the one trailer I watched is this one about this guy. I think it's walking towards.
Yes, that was like the whole time teaser trailer.
Oh god, yeah. So I haven't seen this one myself, and just like walking towards snow. Also, I love how it's another show with underground humans. I think I'll save it to the end once we've gone through all of the shows. But I've noticed a few recurring tropes this season, so we'll see what I'll add them all up in one sentence at the end. But yeah,
so basically, cool. the big thing is that there's this illness that has sort of like hit the earth, and where basically people are, they kind of fall asleep and they never wake up again, and they call it Randolph syndrome. Right? I don't have the anime list link to the actual thing at all. I don't know what you're talking about. And a big thing is that the remaining humans they've migrated to Antarctica, to this underground world called the Asylum. There's not really a great deal of detail on the Asylum itself, but there are strange creatures that don't seem to be native to Earth underground in the Asylum. And effectively, the one character, the trailer we actually saw, where this one guy is trudging through the snow, it looks like he's actually going there to be on the front lines of the Asylum. And this was inspired by media created. It was like a video game by Square Enix, and has had multiple adaptations to it. So I think what drew me to this was more of the serious nature to it, as opposed to the tongue-in-cheek nature of similar shows like, the Dungeon Black Company. No shit, what was it called? The Dungeon of Black Company. Like that was a very tongue-in-cheek series where a very similar premise, where people are fighting on the front line of this, but people didn't die. It was like slapstick humor, very like Tom and Jerry. The cat was never really brutally maimed or anything like that. But this, I feel like characters are going to be dying,
Yeah, this looks like actual proper gritty sci-fi, even though, I mean, some of the outfits, obviously, whatever. But it really looks like the kind of sci-fi show that I would like to chew into.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to have some serious stakes. And, I mean, I'm not a fan of the shows that just kill off people for the sake of just killing them off, but if it's set up that characters can die, that does remove a bit of the plot armor and makes it
or
very
even just get seriously injured.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Lasers.
Never mind. I'm not going to talk about it. It's another show entirely that has a really dark moment, but I don't want to get into it.
We can't push the spoiler button. We haven't even seen the show.
Exactly.
Cool. Right. Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Right. I'm very sure this one's mine. Oh, this is Megaton.
Yep.
Megaton.
Right. Oh God.
This would have been one of my honorable mentions.
Wait, no, you can't start. So, this is mine to begin.
That's
the points, remember? And I put has chunky mechs. They blow a hole in the moon. And I was a bit worried about it because the trailer I had seemed to imply like, and there's a game coming out soon for this show, and I'm like, okay.
A lot of these seems to
there's
have
a hole in
the
the moon. So yeah, I love the chunky mech designs. Blowing holes in the moon is kind of cool, but yeah, I'm kind of like, oh, is this a show or is this a show to sell a video game?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm just gonna read out the synopsis that is actually on Annie list.
Yep. I've not actually seen this much mech stuff. God, I keep watching the wrong videos.
Yeah. And actually, weirdly, I watched oh god, who was I can't remember which Annie tuber it was. They actually put. Let me read this out first. The story takes place after 90% of humanity is wiped out due to an invasion. Survivors live in a shelter where their lives are monitored and memories of the invasion erased. 3 teenagers from the shelter are chosen to pilot 3 machines that combine to form the Musashi robot. Made out
Why
of
game now?
Made out of a material named Megatronium. Sorry, named from the Megatronium alloy. The series will balance robot action with school life. I've not seen any school life. I've not seen any school.
He was clearly wearing a school uniform.
And he's clearly a bully.
Yeah.
School bully.
Yep.
But the other thing I've heard...
That's what their classes are. Bullying.
Bullying. The other thing I've heard is that apparently music plays into this. I'm like, what is this, Macross?
No, not seriously. Seriously?
I think so. Maybe I've actually got that wrong with another series, but apparently music...
Yeah, that's my point, is that there's several shows this season about using music as a weapon.
Right, but apparently it's music really badly hurts the aliens.
So it's a rhythm game.
And and basically it was kind of flushed out. I mean, I might be getting the wrong series, but I could have sworn it was this one. I mean, to be fair though, it's kind of hard to tell because they're all about the whole being like put.
They do seem to be killing them with nothing but giant swords and giant guns in this one. I'm not sure. And his giant fist.
But we don't have any audio.
It's true.
Maybe it's a musical fist.
Yeah, I mean, we do see them pushing buttons.
Maybe the music creates the power.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. That might be a different show, but yeah.
But yeah, I was quite interested in this. The mech design is
by game now. It's chunky. It's different. It's a bit more super robot, obviously.
I liked it because it looked like I didn't realize that they combined into a robot. I liked it because it looks like. I think that's what he said. That's what Xeno said.
Yeah.
I liked it because they look like Pacific Rim robots, and it looks like they have to pilot them together. But I guess they're actually piloting 3 different robots.
Yeah, it is what you said. It does have a very Pacific Rim vibe to. Well, oh god, what was the striker Eureka? That was the name of the actual.
I would say the head is more Gypsy Danger, but
regardless,
it's also got that big robot.
Oh no, that's what I meant. I actually meant Gypsy Danger. Sorry, because the next one is Gypsy Avenger. Anyway, sorry.
Giant Robo.
But the problem I have with this is that the art style of the mech, it feels so different from the 2D animation.
Yeah,
it's like, why is there all this massive amounts of shading and reflective surfaces and PBR treatment? And it's like, okay, whatever.
I'm still gonna watch like this. The one that Loz was talking about earlier. Was it Loz? Yeah, the very first one.
Yes.
Whose name I can't remember now. That had the CGI
Sakugan.
monster. Yes, that had the CGI monster in it, and that was okay. But this is it just takes you out of it so hard. It's so different.
By saving it for just the monster really being CG and the mech Sakugan looked like it fitted in the universe. It even makes the monster seem more alien and more other, which means you want to fight against it. Whereas in this even the mech feels like it's filming. Buy a video game now. Come on. You see what I mean by that though? It's like video game coming out soon. Buy a video game, guys. We totally just didn't while making them.
But I mean, it still looks intriguing. I'm still going to give it a shot too.
Yeah. I think it's all right. Yeah, I was definitely going to watch it. I just didn't want to add nothing but mech shows onto my list, so that's why it's not on mine.
Whoa! You telling me you don't have a mech? So there's one thing on your list that isn't a mech show? Oh yeah.
Yeah, my thing.
We'll get back to that.
That thing.
Yeah. Right, let's move on to the next one. So we've got Tsuki to Laika no to Nosferatu. God damn it, I always put in the no there for some reason. Yeah. Tsuki to Laika to Nosferatu. Loz, your line.
Also known as Let's Have the Space Race Again, but with vampires in it. Oh, Japan, don't stop being so Japan. That was my notes of this. It's like, so that's the premise here. Space race, but with vampires for some reason. Like, why Japan? Why would you do this?
I mean, that's pretty much the only reason why I'm watching this. Come on. Space race, but with vampires. It sounds ridiculous, and I want to watch it. I mean, look at the animation. It's silly. It's got character. It's
actually would have also been one of my honorable mentions because yeah, look at it.
Yep.
I mean, it's set in around 1960, an alternative Earth with two the Union of. I'm not gonna. Yeah, there's a union of republics on the east.
There's the not Russians and the not Americans.
Yeah.
Well, no. The other one is the United Kingdom of Arnak.
Okay, there's the not Russians, the not Americans, and then the British.
Not British.
No, no. They get to be just the British.
Okay, cool. They get kept as the British. But yeah, so it's just like
our empire expands even to fictional things.
After a 10-year war, they call it quits, and they're like, right, now we're gonna fight over who gets to space first with vampires. I mean, come on, it's just So
I love it. Yeah, it would have been my honorable mention as well because it's just like okay, let's just look through it. Japan. Some people say like they don't like watching anime and like it's silly and things, and sometimes you just have to admit that it's just crazy premises. It's just like. I mean, what is it? The Saga of Tanya the Evil. Let's do World War II again, but put a guy inside of a little girl and give him magic. It's just like that's it. And this is just let's do the Cold War space race again. But we can't really. That's not interesting. How do we make it different?
With vampires.
Just like why? I mean, you think like aliens or something would be an interesting twist on it. Like it's an alien getting back to Earth, and that's something. No, it's like they're like right. So let's try putting vampires into space. Like what? What is going on here?
Well,
I can't wait.
Vampires are best suited for being in space, Loz, because
there's so much sun there.
There's no daylight, right? It's always nighttime in space.
They don't have to worry so many levels.
I mean, they're trying to get to the dark side of the moon, Loz. I mean. Have you ever seen the sun on the dark side of the moon?
I'm pretty sure there's a Vampires on the Moon movie. Yeah.
Well, that's where this show's going to go, don't
you? No, actually, I have a prediction about this show, because I'm sure everyone knows that Laika was the first dog in space. Right. And her name is apparently Laika. You did? Okay. So I predict that they're gonna treat her kind of like a dog in some part. The humans are going to treat her like a dog, like an animal.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So I can see where they're going with that. You do see at one point, I swear it's a scientist with a ring of garlic around his neck, and he kicks her and then slams his foot while she's on the floor into his head. So okay, so we're gonna treat her poorly. Maybe that's why
some of them are.
I hope we don't have a sad ending because that would make me very sad.
Yeah. Well, the original Laika did die, but because they didn't shield the capsule properly. So,
well, vampires can survive anything.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Yeah, especially if in the dead of night.
Yeah.
But, I will also point out, I do know that the dark side of the moon does receive sunlight. I'm well aware of that. I do know how, I know that much astrophysics. Anyway, should we move on to the next one?
Yes, I totally didn't. I'm joking. I totally didn't just Google this. No, I'm kidding. Let's move. Right, okay. Let's move on.
Right, so the next one is another one of mine. I don't know how we managed with mine several in a row, but anyway... this one is called World's End Harem.
Oh, yes!
Oh, yeah. This looks so tough.
Nice premise, I've put, because I'm like, okay, nice premise. comedy or serious? Question mark. And how will the main character get to go even one day without, well, you know? Also, where is my science? Is what I've put.
But Loz, what could you possibly mean?
Well, do you want to explain this show?
Let's explain the show. I'm going to read the synopsis. The time is the near future Tokyo, Japan 2040. Reito, a young man suffering from an intractable disease. I don't know what that's supposed. What do they mean intractable? I don't.
Intractable. You sure? It's
Yeah, I think that means incurable, essentially.
Yeah, I mean,
could they not be incurable?
No.
Supposed to reunite with his childhood. Are you going to look it up?
Yep.
Okay. He's going to look it up. Should I continue reading or wait?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Vows to reunite with his childhood friend Arisa and decides to cold sleep to cure her illness?
I think it's supposed to be his illness.
I think it's supposed to be her illness. I feel that there's some typos in this. When he wakes up 5 years later, the world has undergone a major transformation. The male killer virus kills 99.9% of men on the planet. The ground was a super harem with 5 billion women for every 5 men.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is just too stupid. I have to
say again. What was the number? Sorry, 1.
Huh? It's like 5 billion women to 5 men. So it's like, you know.
Right, so 1 billion, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 in a billion. And so.
A male killer.
So, intractable diseases literally derived from the Japanese word nanbyo, mainly refer to rare diseases that have resulted mostly from unidentifiable causes and or lack of clearly established of curable treatments.
Cool.
Yeah, so basically,
I like
untreatable.
Yeah, untreatable. But then the key point I think there is to include the unknown causes. Like we can have an untracked, like certain cancers, for instance. We know what causes cancers, but we can't treat them. So that this to establish there's a difference is like, we got no clue about.
We know what you got.
That's disease,
and we don't know how to fix it.
So but my point about the show though is like, right. So he wants to. I don't. That's why I put comedy or serious because it's hard to tell. Like if this is a comedy, I think it's gonna be quite a funny comedy. Like him trying to avoid. Let's go with the word coitus every 10 seconds from every single person he walks past because he's looking for his one love or whatever. But like the thing gets me is like he wakes up. This like how many? There's 5 men left. Yeah.
5 men.
5 men left.
No,
Yeah.
it says. I mean, if we look at the cast.
No, it said it there on the trailer. 5 men, 5 billion women. Okay. Right. The thing that gets me is that like if I was being scientific about this, like he wakes up, they'd be like, right. I hate to use the term, and I'm sorry for the thing. They'd be like, "We're milking you right now." Like what if you wouldn't have a choice?
What if his intractable disease is super herpes?
Well, yeah, but they need to know that. But I'm like, I don't get how like if he woke up, like he wouldn't be allowed out. If they're gonna do this normally, it's like, right, you see this person here, yeah, you're doing it with them right now. And then we got and then in 10 minutes you're doing it with the next person in the next room. Like he wouldn't get an opportunity. He is so valuable at this point, right?
We've got a cereal bowl full of Viagra, and you're eating all of it.
Exactly. Or it'd be like, right, okay, so we're gonna be very scientific about this, and we can't let in one ejaculate there's millions of sperm, so there's no point doing it the normal way because that just wastes sperm. So they using IVF would be a more sensible way of doing this, and that way one of his ejaculates could impregnate many women that way. You see, if they're being sensible about
way
this.
More thought into this than they're ever going to.
I know, I put way more thought into this premise than Japan has. But yeah, but you see what I mean? It's like, so I don't get how either way he's going to get out of the room and they'll let him go look for his lost love or whatever. When he was
be a comedy.
This has to be a comedy. And if it is, the hijinks will be hilarious. Yeah.
I mean, like, I could just so easily see it where there's characters that like don't want to be anywhere near this guy. And it's like, no, but you have to get it down. It's like, but it's like, yeah, but I don't want to. And I'm just really interested to see where it's. You know me, I like my harem shows. Do I expect this to be amazing? Not in the slightest.
No,
right?
I have
very low expectations.
It looks
because I want to see him
like in the best ways.
Yeah, I want this to be a comedy that's as stupid as possible. To have him like, oh no, I can't get it up right now. Why? Well, I want to do it on some hay. Like, so that person goes off to find hay, and it's like he goes to the next room, and someone's like, yeah, I'm scheduled to do it right now. It's like, oh no, right? I need some chocolate milk. Go find me. For him to come up with random reasons about like, oh no, you see, I've stubbed my toe, and so it's hurting so much. I want to see him come up with stupid reasons why he has to sneak by all these people. Yeah, exactly.
I really hope that there's a character in there that really sort of like tries to trick him and is like constantly like dosing him up with aphrodisiacs.
Yes, offering him drinks that are like, why is this full of pills? Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. But the thing is, it looks serious. You look at the trailer.
But I think that could be played up for comedy.
I don't know enough.
I hope this is a comedy. I really do.
I really do. I mean, if this is not a comedy, like I could very much imagine after 3 episodes, I'm like, oh man, I wish I got that time back. But I mean, it's piqued my interest.
Yes. That's why I said, like, nice premise, because it can be great comedy, but if it's not, I'm like, oh, okay. Right, next
one. Right. Komi can't communicate.
So I'm taking this one, right? Yeah.
Well, I'll say mine, which it just says, Komi can't communicate. Nice! Exclamation mark. Yeah.
Nice.
So do you want me? It is one of my picks. Do you want, and one of Xeno's picks? Do you want to read out the?
You do it, Loz. You do it, Loz.
Okay, so I really should have done that for Sakugan. I think it was a good idea reading out the short blurbs, but you can find all the blurbs in the description and everything if you want to go back and read it. So, Komi-san, I can never say it. It's Komi can't communicate is the translated one. Timid Tadano is a total wallflower, and that's just the way he likes it. But all that changes when he finds himself alone in a classroom on the first day of high school with the legendary Komi. He quickly realizes she isn't aloof, she's just super awkward. Now he's made it his mission to help her on her quest to make 100 friends. Yeah.
What is it with the 100 friends thing lately?
Do you not have 100 friends, Nasuth?
I've seen that in so many, like...
Wait. Do you not have the Nasuth, do you not have the standard regulated 100 friends? Otherwise, we'll have to do something.
Okay, guys. Right, okay. I hate to burst your bubble here, Nasuth. You do have 100 friends. That's how we managed to get the Kanpai cast YouTube.
Yeah, all my friends. Thank you so much, my friends.
But, yes. Loz, do you want to go into any further points or anything?
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, I can rant about this for ages. I've read the manga through probably 4 times. I just find it a really nice, heartwarming story. It's just to point out, it's also getting a live action version, which just annoys me because, like, you see her hair in it, and there's cosplayers who have gotten her hair down to a T. Then you look at like the live action, you're like, you didn't even try. You just didn't try. It's just awful. But anyway, it's got a live action, which I think comes out slightly first. But I hope it all the best. Anyway, the show is really interesting. It's just there's nothing special. It's just kids going to school. The main character, Tadano, whatever, he is literally. Can I just put it? So he is literally. I'm not going to spoil anything of anything, but he is, and I mean it, average in every way possible. Is what his character is, right? At points they do things like they go to have a health check, and he is the average height. When it comes to looking at test results, it says like their test result and the average, and he gets exactly average. He is supposed to be the most average character ever. But he's also a really nice guy, really simple though. But there's nothing special about him. He's just a nice guy. On the first day of school, they're doing the introductions, and he just wants to be almost left alone. He doesn't want to. He's worried that if people, we had it when he was a kid or something younger, people didn't like him as much. So he always tries to read the room and be what people expect of him. He tries to be really nice. And he ruins his introduction, in Japanese classes where they stand up and they have to introduce themselves. And he feels he's ruined his whole school life because he's like, right, yeah, it's the first day of school. I can make a great new start. And then he feels he's ruined it. And then he falls asleep in the classroom. And then it's sport next lesson. And then Komi waits for him to let him know it's sport next lesson. And then he discovers her issue. So it's not a spoiler or anything. She just has a communication issue. She doesn't she can't talk to people. She's just super, super scared of talking to people. You realize in the first episode, it's no spoiler or anything. And so, like, there's a bit where you see her walking into the middle of the screen on the trailer with all the people screaming in the background. That's because when she did her introduction, she stands up to say it. She can't say it, so she walks to the board and just writes her name on the board and then turns around and everyone goes, yeah! Because, so she's seen as this absolutely perfect individual. She walks around and everyone thinks she is the most beautiful person, the Madonna of school or whatever. And people like will walk up to her and like try and like confess their love to her, like even girls will do it. But then she'll just stop and stand there. And because she doesn't respond, they think, no, you're right. How dare I? I'm not good enough to talk to you, and run off. And then really, she was just waiting to say, she's trying to say, oh, that's hello, thank you. You know, she's trying to say that, but nobody ever realizes, and so she just stands still and just stands there, and everyone thinks that she's this perfect individual, but really she literally cannot talk to anyone. And so it's a really nice story as her goal. She's never had friends, but it doesn't. But to everyone, it doesn't look like she. Everyone thinks she has friends because she's so perfect, but she doesn't actually have a single friend. She doesn't talk to anyone in her whole life. But she's always, you know, whenever there's a choice in a class, they always pick her and things because she's perfect. And it's her journey to try and make friends and actually talk to people. And it's just a really nice show about a character that comes out of their shell over time. And I will say, and it's not a spoiler, but even the manga, I can't remember how many friends we're at. I think around 30. So, and that's after like 400 episodes or something. So I don't know where or how far the show is going to go. Chapters, yeah. Was it 400 or 300? I can't remember. It's got loads. So the show's obviously not gonna. The anime is not gonna it probably have a nice finishing point, but it will not eat all the get up to pace of where it is in the manga. Which maybe that's great because that means we can get a great season 2. So it's just fun, slice of life, but with a nice setting. Characters are quite nice. Lots of different characters. And the other thing is that all the other characters in the school, they have their own different quirks and things. So there you go. There's all people. She just wrote her name on the board and she walks back and everyone thinks it's amazing, but really she just couldn't even say her name out loud to everyone. Yep.
So you've read the manga and things. The only thing I really want to know, which is like a make or break thing for me, is please tell me that there are at least some normal kids in the classroom, that they don't all have some kind of eccentric personality.
No, they all have unique personalities. They're not all eccentric.
No, I do mean eccentric. Yeah,
they're not eccentric. They're unique, but they're not eccentric. Just to go over some of the other characters, then you've got the third character of the main three. I'd say is called Najimi. I can never say Najimi, which is someone who has a bit. This is the interesting thing. It's hard to say whether this character is a man or a woman because he dresses as a girl, but he's also a guy. But the character is interesting because this is the opposite of Komi. This person literally has friends. This person is everyone's friend, and even to the point of like within a day they will have like meetings with different people for all different people they have friends with. Then you've got one character. Oh god, do you know what a chunabo? I can never say this term. It's a thing in Japan. Huh?
Chinchimaru.
No, not Chinchim. Chunabo. It's a thing. This is what I've learned from this show. So it's not really spoilers or anything. Yeah, but these are characters. So in Japanese school life, apparently, when kids are growing up, when they get into about teenage, they like pretend that they have superpowers and things. This is apparently a thing in Japan that they're like the hero of their own story kind of thing. And there's one character who has that. I'm trying to think of some of the characters. There's also Komi has a female stalker character who no one could be good enough for Komi kind of thing. You do see them, I think, the bit with the weird tongue in the ear, that's in there as well. Then there's another character which just doesn't have many friends, but actually is interesting enough like a super important critic of and a popular critic online, but they don't realize it and things. There's the Chunabo character with the eye thing. I can never say that right. I'm probably butchering the word. You know, they always speak in things like my eye thing, my dragon energy is being contained and things. Stay away from me, Komi, and things.
Eye patch motif. Okay.
Yes. It is a thing.
That
it
makes
is a
sense now.
Yeah, so it isn't just a one-off random thing. That is actually a term for what apparently some kids as they're growing up in Japan do, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a fun show. Cool. I'm trying to think of some of the characters, but
the execution is good.
And yeah, it looks great. And I'm not going to spoil anything because there's not really much to spoil. It's just them going about the regular life, making just. If you want a show that just will probably make you feel nice, happy things this season, that's the one I'd say.
Right, let's move on to the next one.
Oh.
I don't know which one this one is. It's one of yours, Loz.
Oh god, I was hoping I was going to have a break.
Oh yes, this one. This one.
It's one of the mech ones.
It's your other
mech
one.
Is it? Which one is it? Sunrise Beyond Bandai Spirits. This is. Oh god, which one is it? Kyoukai Senki?
Senki, I think so. Yeah.
Yes, Kyoukai Senki. So what? I don't even know what I actually put for this one. Because I didn't copy it up. I think I like the mech design. I'm gonna have to search for this. Do you want to read out the thing while I look for it for me? Because I didn't.
Yeah,
it's one of mine. I didn't copy it up.
Hold on.
Why did I not copy it up? Kyoukai Senki. Okay.
Right. In 2061 AD, Japan is dominated, divided, and ruled by 4 major economic blocks of the world. The Japanese people spent their days oppressed and as subjugated citizens. Japan became the front line of the world where AMAIM. I don't know what that stands for.
AMAIM.
A human-type specialized mobile weapon deployed by each economic zone strode about. One day, Amo Shiba, a boy who loves machines, meets E.Y.E.S, autonomous thinking AI, named Guy, and this leads him to throw himself into battle to reclaim Japan by piloting the AMAI Kenbu built by himself.
Yep. Sadly, I think I accidentally deleted it, or a couple of lines, because I know I had a few of these, but I've just got interesting mech shows, all I've got left. I know I had a few more for that, but I've deleted it. Yeah. I picked this show as one of mine. The mech design looks quite interesting. This is made by Bandai, so I'm just thinking this is just other mech show to me now. Sorry, other Gundam show to me. I don't get the trailer just shows these characters and not a lot of the actual setting or whatever. They seem to have these weird little chibi things. I don't know if that's the AI they're talking about or what, but it's a mech show that looks really, really nice animation for the bits you do see of the mechs in this trailer. And I don't know. This is where Zeno's probably going to butcher me for it. But when I saw the picture that is given for it, I was thinking Patlabor or Patlabor, however you want to say it. It's like, oh, what's that? And it's talking about like Japan and regions and things, and that's what I instantly thought of it. Here we got the mech open it up. Mech looks pretty cool. I'm just gonna. It looks pretty good. Watch it.
Yeah, no, honestly, it looks pretty cool. The poster for it, very
pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's cool.
I think for me it would depend on the interactions between the main character and the AI, whether I'm actually going to enjoy it or not. But I agree with you. The mech designs do look.
Love me some mechs.
Let's hope we actually get some proper mech on mech action. You know, let's have. Oh crap! I can't remember what his name is. The guy from Godzilla. Go. Let them fight.
Let them.
Let them fight.
That's the thing that gets me, is that this trailer is that you see 2 different mechs, but then the description you just read out almost makes it like there's only a handful of mechs, that the mechs sort of look after an entire region.
Yeah.
It feels like that the main protagonist has actually managed to build his own mech. I'm like, okay, don't get me wrong. I appreciate someone building their own computer, but how the fuck are you building your own car? How'd you mech?
This kid builds his
That's
own
what gets
mech.
me. Yeah, and if it was I think that kind of setting can be cool if you're going to do that, where he builds a mech. Like, mechs have been around for hundreds of years, and he builds a really...
The ghost thing is the AI. You can see above the name of them. E.Y.E.S, AI. Yeah, they are the AI.
Right,
Sorry.
those AI, okay. So the thing get me is that, like, you'd think it would be that he builds his own mechs, but there's modern mechs, and he builds a mech out of old scrap parts which are years old, and he actually accidentally stumbles on some ancient prototype of a different avenue of mech which was never used but based on older stuff, and that's what he uses. Instead, he seems to build something as good as what the nations build. It's like, what?
For all the faults of Pacific Rim 2, at least the mech that the girl built was a junky piece of crap.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
You raised
Xeno's just like, I just got.
Let's put on my mood now. Right. Should we move on to the next one? Or do you have?
Yeah, I mean, this just feels very, until we see it, and as Nasuth very pointed out, the interaction made between these AIs and what's up with those, it does feel it looks cool, but it's stereotypical mech stuff, so we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, moving on to the next one. Poor Loz.
Another one of mine. Am I done mine yet?
Oh, no.
Well.
Is this one?
Oh! Is this... Why did you pick mine? Why are they all mine?
They all got kind of grouped together rather than like split apart.
Right, okay, so this must be... what's the title of it?
Oh, Reincarnated is the world's best sniper or something?
Yeah.
World's best assassin, yeah.
My point for this assassin guy, I'm referring to this. This is I don't know if this is a term, but I like to think of this feels this way. This to me feels like the anti-isekai. Make an assassin a kid to kill the hero to save the world. And I will read out the spiel.
Pretty sure you just did.
Yeah, I summarized it. The greatest assassin on Earth knew only how to live as a tool for his employers until they stopped letting him live. Reborn by the grace of a goddess into a world of swords and sorcery, he's offered a chance to do things differently this time around. But there's a catch. He has to eliminate a super powerful hero who will bring about the end of the world unless he is stopped. Is that really a hero at that point? Isn't that a villain? I don't know. Anyway, now known as Lu Tuan Di, the master assassin certainly has his hands full, particularly because of all the beautiful girls who constantly surround him. Lu may have been an incomparable killer, but how will he fare against foes with powerful magic?
It's going to be that kind of show.
Yeah.
When I first saw this, I was like, oh no, another isekai, I'm going to skip it. But after actually seeing the plot, it might be good.
Did you not get vibes of overpowered protagonist? Like, they got the world's best fucking assassin.
Yeah,
right?
So that's going to be why I'm hoping this. No, that's why I'm calling this the anti-isekai, because most isekais, the character is a normal worker, a school person who gets hit by a bus, and then they're reborn and they have to save everything. This guy, I'm really hoping, this guy is going to be totally jaded even as a kid. He's like, look, I've killed hundreds of people. I might be 6, but I'm an assassin. So that's why I'm really hoping about this thing, that even from day one, like, he's just going to be deadpan, super assassin, like, lived as an assassin and remembers all of that. I mean, you see him there. Look, that guy is an old assassin. He is well worn. And then so summoned his world and is like, right, you want me to do what? You know what I do, right? I'm just an assassin. And reborn as a kid. And at some point, you do see him with like what looks like a magical sniper rifle. Also, why is he assassinating the hero? It's like, yeah, here we go. Look, so he's got a bow there. Come on, where's the magical sniper rifle? I want that sniper rifle. Where is it?
Maybe she's actually just trying to trick him to be the hero.
That's almost what it feels like to me. Because yeah,
here we go.
There, you see, like, got a sniper team, and then we've got, where is it? I swear there's a bit of magical sniper. I want that magical sniper rifle.
I know it's here somewhere.
No, there we go. There we go. So we got like this is what gets me. Is it going to be quite interesting where he's going to have to design that in the world himself? Because it looks quite bog standard, but then with the magical attachments, and they're like, you know, he's going to come up with this as a super high-ranged way to kill people, which everyone's like, but why don't you use a bow? And he's like, no, this is longer than a bow. And they're like, they don't understand. So that would be kind of interesting dynamics as he brings these ideas of his ways of trying to kill people that he's used to into a magical setting.
I'd be fine with that as long as he actually spends enough time fabricating it. Not like, oh, I need to build a gun. 10 days later, I've built my gun. Like,
in a magic setting with magic people helping him, 10 days is fine. It's more that, like, I need a gun next day. Here's a gun.
I don't want the time skip, right?
He wants to actually see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Like, even with a fucking montage, just give me some semblance of this guy's put effort in to get this gun together. Because he's not going to have any of the tools he needs to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, the rifling inside of the barrel is very key, and that's like quite a complex thing to do. No. Yeah, but I need the bullet to...
That's my concern.
Yeah.
Wait for the sniper rifle to shoot bullets bending around corners.
That'd be cool. I think it'd be quite interesting watching... My one worry is that he's gonna when he gets up, we're gonna have this guy who looks. You see these bits of him being really old and this really jaded. Look at me, he's so jaded. I love saying jaded for some reason, but that he's just gonna lose that and become quite basic protagonist is my one worry. You know, standard anime fare. I'm hoping he look at the stress in his eyes. Look at the wear lines on his face.
Like
this man is
really
world
good
weary.
transition where you go from his old face to his young face. But yeah, you also get shots of him like smiling like that. Who knows?
We'll see.
But again, that could be really cool if we get to see his internal narrative, where outside he's smiling, inside he's like, all these people are nothing to me. You know, it could be really cool.
Right, let's move on.
I don't think this one really needs any introduction. It's Lupin.
Yes,
I don't know actually how long.
Doesn't know what it is.
Oz has never seen Lupin the Third.
No, and that is why.
What?
My point for this just says, oh, this looks good. I guess it must be good if it's gotten to 6 parts already.
What?
I'm like, I have not seen this at all. I had no idea what this is. I'm loving the old school art style of it. Lay it on me now. What is this?
Now, I mean, obviously the animation is cleaner, it's higher fidelity and all that, but it looks the same. It has that very Lupin feel. I
want you to educate me. Make me watch this show.
I don't know how long it's been between this and the last section or the last part they had, but
like a year, maybe 2.
Really,
it's really recent. Yeah.
In essence, Lupin is the greatest thief ever. And he goes, think Carmen Sandiego, but, you know, cooler. He goes around the world doing big heists. A lot of times he ends up having to help people along the way because he's really, he's a thief, but he has a heart of gold. He's constantly being chased by Interpol, and the Interpol agent is constantly, being a buffoon. It's beautiful. There was a Miyazaki movie called Castle of Cagliostro that was a Lupin story. Definitely one of the top Miyazaki movies for me personally. I don't really know what's going to be in this season. I don't know if it's going to be an overarching story or if it's going to be like the traditional show where every episode is different.
Let me read out the plot for you.
Yes, please do.
Gentleman thief Lupin the Third is back and ready for his next caper, unless legendary sleuth Sherlock Holmes has anything to say about it.
What?
When Holmes... Yeah, not kidding. I'm reading this out loud.
Nice.
When Holmes' longtime partner, Dr. Watson, is murdered, none other than Lupin tops the suspect list. With Holmes' fate fast closing in, Lupin must prove his innocence and bring a shadowy organization called the Raven to heel if he wants to live and steal another day.
Yeah, it's that kind of story.
That sounds cool.
So I guess it is going to be a season-long arc. That's really cool.
Yep. So I started Lupin in, I think it was like part 4. It was much more recent. Maybe it was 3. I can't remember. But again, it was much more recent, and it was just great. It was the charisma of the cast. The relationships they have, the way they structure the narrative, it felt, oh god,
it's one of those shows where they have fun with it, but you also have these stark moments of seriousness that help. Those moments are more hammered home by the fact that it's so lighthearted the other times.
Yeah, it's a very, very well put together series, and I certainly recommend if you haven't. I don't think you have to watch it from the beginning.
That's my question. It's like, so could I just watch this and enjoy this, or am I going to get more out of it if I go back and watch the other ones?
You will probably get more, but I don't think you'd have to. They'll probably do a good job of introducing the character to you in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you get the you very quickly pick up the relationships between the characters.
Yeah,
just by watching like a few seconds with them, right? Whereas, you know, again,
because he's always helped by. He's got like 3 people that come along with him all the time, and they definitely have complex relationships.
The first, I don't even know if the first season or anything actually involves like how Lupin came Lupin, you know, or if it's like already established. Yep, this is him. So
I think it just starts out that way. I could be wrong though. But yeah, no. Cool. If you haven't watched Lupin, go watch Lupin. Get ready for or wait till this comes out and watch it because it looks just beautiful. Just look at this art.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Anything else you want to add before I move you on to the next one?
No,
I think that's it.
No.
Cool. Moving on to the next one. I don't.
I can't remember the name. It's got two weird names. The English one is
Rumble Garanndoll.
Yeah. So the premise is really weird. I don't have it open in front of me.
No. Loz.
Yes, Loz. Yes.
This just says mech show, but I don't see much mechage. Where my mechage at?
I don't have the exact premise open before me, but I do remember it pretty well because I'm strangely excited. Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
In Japan, 2019, just before the dawn of a new era, suddenly a rift to another dimension appears in the sky, revealing an alternative world. Shinkoku Nippon, with the sky and the earth upside down. This parallel world keeps their former militarism, with era being eternal Showa. I don't know what. Okay, maybe it's just
I'm sure that's some word.
Okay. The military invades the real Japan with giant humanoid robots called Garen. Okay.
Where my mech at?
So there is Mac.
Yeah.
And their gas weapons, Genmu, rendering our modern military weapons ineffective. Shinkoku Nippon instantly seizes the government and achieves a de facto conquest of Japan. The new era, Reiwa, has not arrived for Japan. This doesn't cover nearly what you told me at all, Nasuth. Explain now.
I don't know why it's not in there, but they come here and they eliminate all forms of like pop stars and otaku and everything. It's just you're not allowed to do it anymore. So anime's banned, manga's banned, pop stars banned, all this stuff just gone. But this guy teams up, the girl with the pink hair, she wants to be an idol, a pop idol. So they team up and they start taking down the bad guys somehow. I don't know yet, but I'm incredibly intrigued to find out because that sounds like a crazy premise.
Yeah, sometimes the background you see these giant spikes with these like birds at the top with a big red ring in the middle. Is that the technology they use to deploy the robots or the gas weapons? And the thing I don't get is that even so you see like a little shark eating a big shark there, and then there's some sort of rat robot there. I don't know what that is, but it's like, so the bit with the shark eating the little thing, it's like, oh, it's the big fish eats the big fish. It's quite a dire, dark setting. But then you've got this girl who wants to... Otaku's not dead. You want this girl who wants to be is she a piloting mech there? I don't know. Is she wants to be a idol, and then there's like this underground idol scene or something. What is this dude with the cape? I don't know. Is he good? What is he doing? Kamina. What? Why is Kamina wearing a jacket for some reason? I don't know. And who are these people? Are they like otakus pretending? I don't know. Why is it? How is
secret underground otaku militia?
We've come from a dimension. What do? We want to crush your animes and your idols, and that's about it. You're gonna take over the planet? No, just the idols and the animes. We can't stand them from our internet. Then you've got like stormtroopers in the back there of that person. So it's like, what? Did you use the giant?
I think it's because the alternate Japan is incredibly militaristic, and so they want to stamp out any form of expression.
Yeah, there's one shot I want to point out, which looks really dark and grim. There's a guy looking out over a cityscape with these giant spears. It looks like War of the Worlds almost-esque, especially with the gas weapon technology you're talking about. And it's just like, how does this show going to go between happy thing and then this dark, grim side of it where we've been invaded from... There we go, look at that. Look how dark and grim that looks. With these giant red circles like controlling the cityscape as if like that's it, you know, your culture's dead. We win now. And yet we're gonna have like idols and things. I have no idea what the show is. What is this?
I have a question. What's the rest of the world doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows? Maybe they're scared of the gas weapons.
Maybe they're building a wall.
Maybe they're building an army of idols to fight back.
And make Nippon pay for it.
It worked. It worked for Australia during Pacific Rim, so
that's true.
Clearly.
But no, that's exactly why I'm intrigued by this, and I really want to see it because I have no fucking idea what's happening, and I have to know. I really need to know.
Look, do you see that? Just look. There's the dark, grim things, and you got stormtroopers, and they're stealing his anime on the DVD or something. And then there'll be like happiness, and then there'll be.
The idea that they're going to use anime to fight back against this is just. How is that going to work?
What is that?
You just gotta get back to that.
I assume there's going to be a lot of comedy in it too.
Right, hopefully, let's move on to the last one. Cool.
Yes.
Then this is the last one.
Is the last one. I also don't remember its name, but it's essentially, if you've ever seen something like Kamen Rider, it seems a lot like that, where a guy gets a power suit. Xeno, do you have... Oh, sorry, Loz, do you have a line for this one?
Which one's this?
Shizuki
Suruka. Not sold on the mech suits or the combat, but the premise sounds fun. Yeah, because it's all CG and they look quite samey. Yeah. I'm not sure what quite.
I really dislike this trend in anime where everything is using this live 2D animation style. But I do really like the look of the suit. And the aliens look, whatever they are, the monsters look pretty.
Yes.
I don't know if I'll continue with this one because it does center around, kids, and that can either be really hit or miss in anime. But I do really like the look of the suit. I'm not huge into Kamen Rider myself, but I get why. I've seen enough of it to get that the vibe from it.
Oh, I kind of was hoping that the girl was going to pilot it.
No, it's him.
I think there's multiple, isn't there? Multiple.
Yeah,
suits?
I think she may get one too.
Yeah,
man. Right.
This isn't the trailer I watched. The one I watched
he's
showed several. I think that's
he just falls into it and gets it.
Yeah. As the genius trope.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Kakeru Miwa is an otherwise ordinary high school.
There's the several suits on the left there, and that's why I like the idea of one of them having that cool face, but it just looks quite samey with them all having the weird face.
Yeah, I didn't realize they all have the same face. That's a shame.
Kakeru Miwa is an otherwise ordinary high school student. But a strange twist.
Bad start, I know.
On the front line in a supernatural battle against the menacing Oni. Sorry. With the help of fantastical power battle suit known as Yori, Kakeru joins an elite team that fights a monstrous Oni and defends humanity from otherworldly threats. The team is assigned to protect Oka Myojin, a shrine maiden who is prophesied to save the world, but she must perform a sacred ritual within Shikizakura, the horizon that connects. What?
Keep going.
The horizon, that connects the spiritual and physical world that lies somewhere amid the blooming cherry blossoms and the colorful autumn leaves. But in this world, the journey to destiny is hard fought, winding and sometimes deadly. Okay.
Oh no, it's interesting to see because it's the evolution of anime. We're going to get a lot more CG things in the future, as these things progress. So it's interesting to see how it's going to go.
I'm a little worried about it, but I'm so intrigued by the design of the suit. I'm a little sad now that there's apparently multiple that look like that.
I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'm really interested in the suit and everything, but it just sounds generic.
It does kind of sound a little generic, yeah.
The generic evil bad guys with big mouths are coming to fight, and the schoolboy will magically get a super weapon which he knows how to fight or do well with in the first 2 seconds of putting it on to defend the damsel in distress who will save the universe because she is the one, and then there'll be a team of them because they'll have hijinks and the fighting between them, that then they come together to save the universe at the end, and then a big sky beam kills all the bad guys.
You're probably right. That's going to go that way.
I think I'd be more interested in this if it wasn't for the fact that the human characters were CG as well.
Yes, that's
like in this section where he's got the transformation sequence. Sure, CG, don't care, right? But when she was like crawling around on the floor trying to get up, when
it looks too stiff when it's this style.
It does. And like he just swung his sword down. I don't know if you saw, and her skirt moved in reaction. It feels too much like it's an animated scene in a video game.
No, I have that problem with Nighthead too. As much as I love Nighthead, it also uses this style, and it just looks so stiff. You can't do the same sort of fluid, crazy movements with this that you can do with, or at least they haven't tried yet, with that you can like actual drawn stuff.
Well, it's to do with the clever tricks you can do with drawn stuff that a rendered 3D model won't. You have to tell it what to do. You can't just imply it does something and you get away with gaps in the animation that your brain makes up. It has to do it because it's a 3D object. It can't skip scenes, can't skip beats. It just does exactly what you tell it to do. And if you don't tell it to do anything, it looks stiff and tricky.
But I'm still willing to give it, at least the 3 episodes because I'm intrigued. I want to see if they hold it all, or pull it off well, or if it ends up.
Well, if you watch it, right,
as everything else.
So the bit that gets me, just watching this trailer over and over, so you see him put on this suit, but later in the trailer, it almost looks like he goes into some sort of berserk mode, and another one in this room, right? So you see, this room, sorry. So you see the bit of the skirt,
the red one?
movement's a bit stiff there, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's the red one, or the main one, because it's always red. Yeah, so here we go. He puts on his suit, which looks a bit cool. Like if it was like the CG going on to like drawn stuff, that would look amazing actually. So he's the red, look at him, cool, and it goes on his helmet. Cool, unlocked some things, and he's fighting these things here, looking quite normal, which looks all right. Oh, is that him? No, there we go. So it's like,
I think that's an enemy.
Is that an enemy?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's too hard to tell.
It's got the eyes though. It's got the eyes.
It does have the eyes.
I think it's because like all the white parts have turned black and things. I think that it's like it needs to be tamed.
Other
and
form.
the Shrine Maiden has to tame the savage beast.
What if if the suits they're using are like using the energy of their enemies, and if they don't use them for too long or don't know how to use it, it corrupts them or whatever? That could be interesting. So that's what gets me. There could be more to it. If that's what I want to see, more to it, like more depth to what they've got. They're not just they put on the suits and beat the enemies.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they put on the suits, hold them off.
I think that's the last one. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we'll go to the honourable mentions. I'm going to give it a quick pause. He says.
Right. Okay, so to finish off, those are our main picks. Obviously, that's not everything on the season. There's lots of other great stuff in there. So just to quickly go through some, me and Xeno, some honourable mentions because we've seen them. I'm just going to point out some ones based on what I wrote. So one on there is called Platinum End, which I summarise as Battle Royale to become God, which is an interesting premise. I like the concept of that. Meruku-chan, which is a horror. It looks really quite dark, but it's actually a comedy. So I think that's going to be quite interesting, quite a mix of it. Tact OP. Now, this is the one I think Xeno was doing because I've put, hell yeah, let's fight some aliens with music guns.
Oh, maybe that was
Yeah. There's at least 2 on here. I can't remember what the other one is that uses music as a weapon or whatever. There is one about someone becoming an artist, but yeah. So Shinno Nakajam Nai Tu Yushin no part. Oh god, it just keeps going on. There was this one about. It reminds me of one where they killed the Demon Lord and went to work in an electrical shop. It reminds me of that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, no, there's one actually that I really would like to, as an honorable mention. Saihate no Paladin, right? And summarized as. It's a person who's raised in a world where there's no living thing, so raised by 3 dead people, and that's it. For some reason, and I don't know if it's raised him to become they want to raise him to become a paladin. I don't know if that's just to kill them off because they're like 3 dead people who are raising him. That's kind of interesting. And what have I got here?
To bounce off of that last one, what I understand is basically he's a kid that's in like a region, of a kingdom or something. He's in a kingdom or something where everything's dead, right? And it's just him and then these undead beings and things, and they teach him how to live life and stuff. They teach him their magic, they teach him their battle tactics, so on and so forth. And then he goes off an adventure he wants to become a paladin, so he leaves to go to other lands and things. And he's using the techniques that the dead have basically taught him.
Sounds kind of neat.
Right, that sounds pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Moo Love Alternative. It's another mech show. Just want to point out because it's a mech show. I watched the first one, which was Moo Love Total Eclipse, which was interesting, but it wasn't great. So I'm not sure where this is going to go. Visual Prison, which I've put all caps. Fighting musical vampires. Very fun on that. There was one that was really weird about. Oh yes, 180 Byodugi Kimi no Mimi wo Shiwawasi ni Dekiruka. From what I could tell, this was ASMR ear cleaning the anime. That's all I can work out from the trailer. Seriously. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Yep. ASMR ear cleaning the anime.
That's his notes. Right.
That's all I can tell. They're like talking about ASMR and things, and then you just see this character like get one of those double ear things, and they're just like cleaning it with an earbud, and it's just like that seems to be about it. So yeah, ASMR cleaning the anime. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my honorable mentions. Demon Slayer Season 2, even though it's recently come out, it's actually kind of Season 1.5 and a bit. Jobless Reincarnation Part 2.
Yep.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6. Though technically this really doesn't come out until like the very end of the season. Really, it's like
That's
winter
a weird time
2022.
for
Yeah. What else is there? Then there's 86 Part 2, which I was really happy with Part 1. And I think that is all my honorable mentions.
No, that's good. Yeah, no, most of the stuff there on Xeno, I would reiterate because I tried to focus on just the new stuff. All those things there, I think I've watched the previous season of them, and I will be watching those because most of those are great. But they're just the season 2.
JoJo, don't lie.
I've seen the first 2 seasons.
Bullshit, really?
Yeah, we've been through this many times. I got annoyed about the bit where it stopped being British people.
What? That's like the second season.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's like second part. That's like the second part of the first season.
No, I swear I watched. Oh, maybe that's the second part. I don't know. Well, I'm going to watch it all again. So.
Moving on.
And all my honorable mentions were taken by these two as actual things they wanted to watch. So,
Cool.
All good.
Right. Okay, cool. That is it for the topic itself. Let us come out of this. Go back to that.
Ooh.
Why didn't that turn off?
Don't know, but it turned off now. So. Oh no!
You do it.
Oh no!
Okay, I'll do it. There we go.
Cool. Right. Okay. So that is it for the topics. Next, we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about next week. So next week, because the summer season will have concluded by Friday. Actually, the day this airs, we'll actually be recording our next episode on the Sunday, which will cover the season, summer 2021. So we'll go over what we kept watching, what we ditched, why we ditched it, why we kept watching it, so on and so forth. Were we happy with it by the end of it? I don't know if we'll give a score or anything, but certainly we'll say whether or not you should watch it. Then, moving on.
Do you want to announce 2 weeks in advance? Because we know what we're doing.
Yeah, sure. Why not? So we already know what we're going to do 2 weeks from now, which is... What?
We've been planning.
We've been planning. I thought you said we're a planet.
We're a planet. We're the fifth planet. We escaped it.
Pluto is a planet. Sorry. So in 2 weeks' time, we'll be airing an episode which is our review, our reaction, our dissection of the Star Wars Visions series. We genuinely thought that this was going to be coming in like November time. Disney just went, hey, have it all at once. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. So we'll be doing that in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, because it's an interesting collaboration sort of thing between Disney Star Wars and Japan, which is quite a good intersection for us to go and talk about what we think.
Cool. Right. I think the next part, we've got the supporter questions. I was going to do something, and then I just read what Zrugel's question is. Right. Before I read out Zrugel's question, I just want to say thank you all for listening to our podcast so far. We really appreciate all the likes and comments everyone leaves on these episodes. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm adding that part on as well. Right. So Zrugel asks, have you all seen High Score Girl, and do you have any quick thoughts on it?
No.
High
What
Score
High
Girl?
Score Girl?
High Score Girl.
High Score Girl. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it, but if you recommend it to Google, I think it'd be worth a watch.
I know of it. I know it was on Netflix. If it's still on there, I don't know. But yeah, so I will have to. Yeah, I don't think any of us has watched it. So cool. Right, next, Thaylien asks, on the topic of fan service from last week, it's harem time. Each of you is now a harem protagonist. What kind of anime are you in? What kind of girls are in your harem? And what is your one special talent that makes all these girls fall in love with you? Oh dear God.
No, this is terrible.
Oh dear God.
I'm in a mech show.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have the Sundere pilot who's been like working her whole life to be the best pilot ever. So she's like all like meh. Then we'll have another character who will be the genetically engineered super soldier person who's like quite because of their background and things, and they've been by themselves. They're kind of quite funny and quirky the whole time, even though it's quite tragic, their backstory, as we go and navigate their tragic backstory. Then we'll have like a mechanic who's like very, because why not? Let's just have a mechanic girl in there. And then what else can we have? We'll make the captain. Yeah, we'll have the captain as well, as be some sort of character. There we go. And there's my characters. And I'll just because I'll be like 15, and then I'll just be able to get into a mech and like understand the mech, how it works, because I sat in it, because that's how these shows all work.
Can I interject? How old are the women?
I don't know. They'll be like anywhere between 18 and 32. No, I don't age. We've got 18 and 50. There we go. Interesting show.
Loz pulls. Right. Okay.
But I'll be a 15-year-old boy. See, that's part of the fun, because he's a 15-year-old boy. He's like, whoa.
But are you?
Oh wait, that's legal in Japan. Damn it, it's not going to be funny. What are you saying?
Well, I was going to say, are you going to be like Issei Hyodo, where you're actively trying to pull, or are you going to be? Like,
no, it's a comedy. It's a comedy.
Oh, it's a comedy. That's okay. Okay, right. There you go, Nasuth. First part of it is what type of anime are you in?
Obviously, a future dystopian, probably spacefaring anime.
Okay, future dystopian sci-fi, right? What kind of girls are in your harem? You have to have at least 3.
Okay, well, they're not actual girls. They are all malfunctioning robots who think they're in love with me. But I'm a mechanic. I work to fix things.
Yeah.
And they're not even robot girls, they're just robots. Like, they're just like functioning, like you got your Roomba that's in love with me. And I'm constantly trying to fix them to make them, go back to doing their normal duties, and it's comedy ensues.
Nasuth.
Mm-hmm.
This is Japan.
Uh-huh.
We need the booba.
Okay, one of the robots gets booba for itself. It thinks it gets booba for itself.
I think we'll need a lot more than that. We're selling this show to the network. We're going to need a lot more than that, I'm afraid.
Oh my God.
Right, Xeno, go.
Fuck. I want to say slice of life. I don't know why. I just want to just slice of life this. But I am a chef who attracts the women via the amazing food that I prepare. All the men are revolted by the food, but all the women are absolutely diehard fanatics of the food itself. The women, they are the waitress staff. Like, the men don't want to work there because, the women just get really weird. So we got like a Ryoko character, we've got a Rias character. We've got
no. You can't just name other characters and shove them into your show. You need to describe characters.
Okay, you're right. I should actually.
That's lazy. Also, okay. Can I give you a character backstory?
Why do you want to? Okay, fine.
To explain why he makes food that only appeals to one gender.
No, he doesn't actively try to.
No, he doesn't. But he grew up by himself, only taught by his grandmother on top of a mountain in Tibet, and all the he was only. Because Tibet.
Mount Fuji.
Mount Fuji. Okay, yeah, on the peak of Mount Fuji, and all the food up there he can only prepare it for his grandmother. So he uses all the unique ingredients. So only that's how he was very like focused in his in his food that he made.
Okay. So we have a what you call it? Oh god, I want to say like a barmaid, right? She is really insistent on having the right drink to pair with the food, and she doesn't know what the actual customers have ordered or anything, so she has to be like really fast and on the fly, but she kind of gets a little merry with the sauce sometimes, so like after closing hours, like it takes her no time to get completely smashed.
Does she get does she get the picks of the drinks right all the time or wrong most of the time?
No, right all the time. Like she's an expert. She's an expert until she's pissed, and then it's pretty much just Saki the entire time.
See, we've made a character this time rather than just dropping character in other shows.
No. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Yeah. You got one.
Then we have like one of the head waitress, right? She is what's it called? Very oh god, I'm trying to think of the right word. Poised. She demands like a lot of authority just in her posture and everything. And then when the customers are trying to order, like they'll say like, "Oh, I want the carbonara," but she puts down the lasagna. She chooses what the customer should be ordering, right? And then when the customer orders, like, this is not what I wanted. She just stands there looking deep into, "You will eat what Chef Xeno prepared. Fucking eat it." And then they just fall in love with what they've just eaten, and then they want to meet Chef Xeno, but the head waitress, she won't have it. She won't fucking have it. It's like, no, none of the customers can see Chef Xeno. And then third one, the soup chef, right? Soup chef trying to learn to become a culinary master of Chef Xeno, and I was really scared then that my entire thing had cut out until you started nodding. Right, so she's trying to become like another culinary genius, just like Chef Xeno, and she's like, she's working really hard. She's always, and Chef Xeno's like really nice and kind to her and things, and like he'll like on the side sort of like sprinkle in some stuff, and it gives her like the positive reinforcement. She believes in herself that she can actually do this, and she tries harder, and he gives her like words of encouragement. She just hangs on those words. There you go. You happy now?
I feel she's 4'2".
Definitely.
Yes, and she has a stool as she's making the food.
That's what I was expecting. Like, I just like the idea of her like being on a stool, like still being like trying really hard. Like that's really cool and cute.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Cool. Yep, that's fun. Let's move on.
Right, so the next question from Thaylien. Thaylien, stop giving us long ones like that. The next one
was fun.
To celebrate Loz. Okay, here we go. I'm fine with this one. It's directed at Loz. To celebrate Loz's love of giant robots, each of you has to. No, Thaylien, no! Each of you has to choose a mech to pilot. From the long list of anime you've watched, which giant mech would you pilot? And no, Xeno, I'm classing Guyver Gigantic as a biosuit for this, not a robot. First off, I think you're missing out God Guyver, or Guyver Gigantic XD, but you're moving on from that. Go on, Loz.
Well, but if you're going to give the option to do anything, like any mech ever, anyone who doesn't go for like the Gurren Lagann ones, which are bigger than galaxies, is just wrong. There's no other choice because I want to pilot a mech that's bigger than several galaxies. Yeah, why would you not?
No.
If you want to pilot one, what about piloting one that you just want to enjoy? What Gundam?
Yeah, you see, it'd be easier if you said what Gundam, because I'm just thinking like anything not Gundam. I'm gonna have to think on that one, Thaylien. I'll get back to you. I'm gonna give a good think. You want to pick one, Xeno?
I want to say JHT, but that's in the game.
There's an anime. It's in the anime.
Dolores, but Dolores is a stupid AI that annoys me. Or Dolores.
Wait, no. Seeing as the second game is basically an anime, you can say JHT because the second game is basically an anime.
There you go, JHT.
They got rid of the CG cutscenes and just went, you know what's better? If we just
anime.
Make the characters, and it's like, wow, this is one of the best games ever. It's really amazing.
JHT. Nasuth.
Mine's Big O. Easy.
Fair. Loz, you
Doesn't
still
love Big
thinking?
O.
I will have a think because I will have to think like Gundam. If do you know even that I'm just don't think I can pick right away. I will have a think. Let's move on.
What
But
if you didn't have a Gundam? What if you couldn't do Gundam?
You've already taken Jehuti from me.
I mean, just Jaguar.
It does say giant robots.
Yeah,
Gundams aren't giant robots.
Gundams are giant robots.
No, they're mecha. Mecha
No, they're real robots.
Are different.
They're still no. They're still. It doesn't say super robot. The definitions would be real robot and super robot. Not big robot. They're big robots. It's huge. Gundams are huge. In fact, Gundam's actually very. Oh, this is wait.
No.
Don't get me down a rabbit hole explaining the size of Gundams. Let's move on.
Pick a Mac that is not a Gundam.
Do you know? No. Do you know what? I'll just go with the RX-78-2, the classic Gundam, just for the classic factor.
No, he wants to be Ava 01. I can tell.
Ugh. Can I go vomit in the corner? Xeno will join. Do also vomit in the corner. Ugh.
Right. Okay. Next, we have the comments from last episode. Right. So Zrugel said, "You know what else was illegal in Japan at that time? Playing cards."
Ooh,
very strange.
Did not know that.
I wonder why. I'm not going to look that up now.
Well, I imagine it's to do with like gambling and stuff because gambling is illegal in Japan. How they get around it is just absolutely hilarious. Where at pachinko parlors, all you can win is more pachinko balls, but then you cash in the pachinko balls at an establishment that is not affiliated next door. No. You cash them in for items, and then you sell the items for cash.
For items in like little near unopenable plastic boxes, they're like a comb or something, and you take it next door, and then next door they're like, "Oh yeah, here's some money for that comb."
Oh yeah, we'll buy that totally useless thing for
We're so desperate for those.
Yep. Yeah. Right. Edward Paddock says, by the way, that Sparkle was introduced in Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles.
I have no idea if that's true, but I have no reason to believe it's not.
But Twilight popularized it, so
and they probably did it. They undoubtedly did it way worse.
And then this was just a silly comment. Strombus Shell, scroll down. I'm ahead of the curve. I usually just listen anyway. So this was to do with the fan service episode where we're maybe move off the footage. But anyway, cool. Right,
we may have gone too far in a few places.
Right, that is it for the curious responses. We're now moving on to the memes. So we need to migrate over to this, and then we hit the first meme, which is Nasuth's.
Ah, yes, Eyes of Mars.
There we go.
Hey.
What?
I will be summoning an isekai hero for the revival of the British Empire.
I would watch the hell out of that show. That would be amazing.
Oh my lord, that is incredible. Where did you find this?
So I went to r/anime and just had a nice scroll through.
It's a good one.
Awesome.
You ready for meme 2?
Yeah.
After all these years, finally I have them all.
Oh God! No.
The only one that's missing, Yi pointed this out to me. The only one that's missing is the black one, the complete black one. But
yeah,
good enough. But this would have been better for last week. But the third one.
Oh my God!
He only attends those stupid cosplay events with his friends just to look at boobs. Me and the homies.
I love the guy in the Luna costume.
Yes. Oh, he's holding something. I can't remember what that is, but he's holding something.
Oh my God. Right, well, off the back of that last one from Nasuth, we have my first one, which is, again, from Reddit. I'm searching for the crystal so I can regain my memories. Why are you looking for it? My cat told me to.
So not wrong. The cat told me to do this, so I'm doing this.
My second one is Wi-Fi drops from 1 bar. YouTube quality goes from crystal clear to quite blurry. Meanwhile,
when is
ads,
that?
Huh? That's Mega
when does Aqua look that bad? I assume it's a background shot.
Yeah, it's probably like she's quite far in the distance. But yeah, meanwhile, ads. Power surging.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yep. And then my third and final meme. When the username you want is taken, so you have to make a new one. King Explosion Murder. Lord Explosion
What the fuck?
Because that's the actual names he actually tries to go with, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Right. And
I need to rewatch it from the start. It's so long now.
Yep, that is it for the memes. That is it for this episode. I can't think of anything else we need to say or announce. Celebration in the fact that we do have timestamps and now the chaptering works properly.
Yes.
And I think with that final one.
So do let us know in the description of the video other formats that you would like to listen to us on. That would be really a great help because we don't want to have to do all of, well, we maybe do all of them, but if people are like, oh yeah, I'd really like to see on Spotify, we will push for that. If you really want to say, oh no, I listen on Apple, we will definitely go for those ones. So if you let us know, we will definitely push those. Right, Zeno?
Right. Kanpai!
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 Kanpai.
Kanpai?